Remembering September 11th on the 20th anniversary, in the hours following the attack, the call went out to response teams nationwide to start mobilizing, including nearly a dozen local fire personnel. Former County Fire Chief Nick Dunn was part of Team 3 in California and was on the ground in Washington just 24 hours after the dust settled. Even today, those memories remain with him, trying to maintain order in chaos.
You should all report to your companies. Again, if you are a New York City firefighter, drop what you're doing, report to your company.
And we have shift change that morning, so we're all in there, and we have on every screen in our command center, we're looking at it. And Steve Gage, who was our incident commander on the team, was a deputy chief at the time for Kern County. And his phone rings, he gets up and walks out. He looks through the window and goes, because I was his logistics chief on that team, and he says, "We're going."
That's all he had to say. Nick Dunn was a battalion chief with Kern County Fire in 2001 when the attacks took place that morning. But more importantly, he was part of a national response team in charge of logistics, and they were being called up.
I have to go see my wife, my daughter. I got to make sure I touch everyone before we go, because we don't know what's going to happen.
Dunn and his team assembled in Sacramento, then flew through the night with a plane full of first responders, landing in Baltimore on the morning of September 12th.
I mean, no one was resting. Everyone was keyed up, because we knew. Then, as we're flying in, the sun's coming up as we're coming in, and we look out and we have fighter jets on our wingtips. And everybody starts applauding, because everybody starts raising up their shields, and they're looking, and they all start applauding, and then there's dead silence, because all of a sudden you realize they're there. If this plane deviates, we're going to get shot out of the air.
Dunn learned they would be headed to the Pentagon to coordinate with urban search and rescue teams from all over the country. And due to the sensitive nature of the information in the building, everything took time.
So this is just a big kind of chaotic mess. The military wanted everything looked at before it went to the Pentagon. Once we loaded up into their transports to get the equipment to them, they dog sniff it, they walk it, they do everything, and then they have military escort to take it there.
It was a long, tedious process with several moments of hope sprinkled throughout.
Probably the third or fourth day, I was coming out in the morning for briefing, and there was a family walking down the hall. And they were going to the room next to where I was, and it was someone of their family had died in the Pentagon, and they were coming in to get the effects. And they saw me in uniform, and so one of them said, "Are you here for?" I said, "Yeah, we're the ones supporting the Pentagon." And she just grabbed me and started hugging me, and I lost it. You just get so angry when that happens, and so upset, about this happening to our country, and that was tough.
It's 20 years ago.
20 years. I feel like it was yesterday.
The mission lasted 17 days, and when it was over, the team packed up quickly.
The Pentagon is the military, and they loved us being there. They loved us helping. But once it got to a point of being stable, they were shaking our hands and patting us on the back and saying, You guys can go ahead and leave now, because we're going to take it from here.
A chance to finally relax.
I mean, the whole time we're at the Pentagon, we've got helicopters flying around us, gunships, and you see jets all over the place. And so you're waiting for the next thing to happen, and it was intense.
1 year later, Dunn was one of a few people invited back to the scene by Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld.
The president was there, and our wives got to go with us. I mean, it was pretty amazing, and they treated us like royalty.
How did it look a year later?
Oh, like brand new.
Not half as incredible, perhaps, as the thousands of people who answered the call when America was attacked. And a reminder, tomorrow morning, ABC News will be airing a special 5-hour broadcast beginning at 5 a.m. to commemorate the 20th anniversary. They'll have the stories of those who lost their lives, the first responders who were there, and we'll also bring you the live reading of the names of the victims. Now, due to that, we will not have our regular 6 or 8 a.m. newscast. Instead, we will have a special digital version.